All right, is that good? All right. Hi, my name is Sam. I'm going to be giving my final speech on what I like to call the problem in America. And that's a big topic, I know, but I'm going to try and break it down into something more, bite sized and easily comprehensible in, 5 minutes. So, to preface this, if I was in class giving this speech in front of all of you, I would usually ask if anybody here had any knowledge about the current presidential election that we had in America, November 4th to be specific. And apparently, that was a very controversial election because we're still debating it almost 2 months later. So, the two primary candidates of our election are the Republican Party and the standing president, Donald Trump, and then the Democratic nominated Joe Biden. Now, both of these people are very different, and both of these people don't perfectly represent, I think, as a whole, what America wants. Now, Donald Trump is a 74-year-old businessman, and he has been known for making some fairly shady business practices. He's been known for being very brash, which is very like aggressive and kind of rubs you the wrong way when you talk to him. He's been quoted for being very objectifying of women, treating them more as objects more than people. He's been quoted saying some very, very harsh things, especially during this whole pandemic, saying that it's not a big deal, that it's just a cold, downplaying it, and just various other things like that, along with being friends with very powerful elitists who don't live the cleanest, most Puritan lives. And what I mean by that is, for example, he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein was a very, very powerful child trafficker. So, I mean, that's not super great to write down on your list of friends when you're running for president of probably the most influential country in the world today. But then you take a look at Joe Biden, and it's not a huge difference either. I mean, he's been known for lying. He's been in lawmaking for 47 years. His 2005 bill for student loans is purely the reason why America has so much student loan debt, over $1 trillion, in fact. And he's been quoted as saying that Obama was the first clean African American in politics, which is just blatantly awful if you know anything about previous politics prior to, I don't know, 1980s. Um, but that's not really the point. What I'm saying is both of these candidates are very misrepresenting of our country's values, and it's to the point where it's driving a divide because nowadays we align ourselves more with the name or the label above the person than we do about their actions, their beliefs. I mean, most people claim that when they voted for Joe Biden that he was pro gay rights, when in fact in 2012 he openly said that he was against gay marriage and believed in keeping the principles essentially uh, classical, so man and woman. And I think this leads to a lot of uh, people being uneducated in what they're saying and what they're speaking, because even now our media has been proven time and time again to be inaccurate and lying and cheating, almost trying to push their agenda. And what I mean by agenda is their narrative, what they believe, what they want other people to think. So I think that this lying and this corruption and this misunderstanding of essentially the other half of America. I mean, you take a look at someone from the middle of nowhere in America, just simple farmhand or something like that. That's not a great example, I know. But then you take a look at somebody from a more urban area, say Chicago, they are going to have different fundamental ideas, and it's very difficult for them to bridge this bond when everything that they read is pitting them against each other. So this, funny enough, is very similar to a situation that the philosopher Socrates found himself in. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Socrates, he was a philosopher from Greece who was put to death for, quote, poisoning the youth. And what I mean by poisoning the youth was he was pointing out all of the exact same flaws in their ideologies as we have today. He pointed out the sectionalism, which is putting yourself in a class, say like a Democratic or a Republican Party, rather than classifying yourself as an American. And this dual party system, this left or right, this conservative or liberal, this Republican or Democratic, this is inherently pitting each American against each other. And I think that the true answer to this is, I think it's just having to be thinking for yourself. I think that you have to honestly understand where people are coming from, understand that one person cannot represent a whole. I think that everyone needs to do their own research before they're actually speaking, because it's sad that it has to come to that our media can misinterpret what we're trying to say, can falsify any claims. I mean, it is scary to an extent, and I think that this blindness to the tampering of people's minds. I mean, growing up in America, I've been told that left is bad, right is good, and that right is bad, left is good. And it's very, very scary. And I know that this country has very good values, and I know that it has the possibility to be great, but I think that it's time that we as a people need to take a stand against this higher power trying to hold us down. I mean, this is just something that I'm very passionate about. I know that a lot of people here aren't born in America, that a lot of people haven't been in America a whole lot of time, but I think that it's very important nevertheless to understand the problems of a culture. So if I were to give you 3 things to take away from this, it'd be that you need to educate yourself, 1. You need to understand where people are coming from. And I know it sounds a little cheesy, but you need to have love for others, because that's truly the only way that we're ever gonna manage to make a bond between each other. And I know I'm just some kid with a weird haircut and an orange t-shirt sitting in his room talking to a phone, but I hope that you at least got something from this message, or from this speech, I should say. Thank you so much if you managed to stick through this. I know that 9 minutes is a little long, but I felt like I would take my time and get it all out right. Thank you so much.